The new Sony NWA100 and ZX500 series Walkmans have arrived at Minidisc. As successors to the wildly popular A50 and ZX300 series, these new Walkmans feature Android operating systems with full support for streaming apps, larger displays, and USB-C output. But the new Walkmans also come with a substantial increase in price and decrease in battery life. So what do we think of the upgrade here at Minidisc? Now, in Australia, we carry the NWA105 and ZX507 models, which come with 16GB and 64GB of onboard storage, respectively. One thing we will say right off the bat, despite Sony detailing some improvements to the internal components of the A105 and ZX507, we didn't hear any big differences in the way either of these units sound compared to their predecessors. Power output, output impedance, and noise floor seem mostly unchanged. The A105, like the A55, still hisses a great deal with sensitive earphones, and the ZX507 still sounds great with the Campfire Audio Andromeda by producing a slightly clearer but still smooth sound of a low noise floor compared to devices like the FiiO M11 or Chord Mojo. Neither of these Walkmans produce a great deal of power. If you want a portable player that can drive full-size headphones, we would still recommend the FiiO M11 Pro or the Cairn Cube from Astel & Kern. Even the ZX507, with its more powerful 4.4mm balance connection, has trouble driving high-impedance headphones to sufficient volume for tracks of high dynamic range, like classical music recordings. Of course, the same balance connection does perfectly fine with less demanding headphones and earphones. So the most important changes with the new Walkmans are practical. We have improved UI performance and database creation speeds. The matte screen is gone from the ZX300, but the new larger displays are easier to navigate. There's a limited edition of the A105 Walkman that comes with a unique case that celebrates the 40th anniversary of Sony's original Walkman model, the TPS L2 cassette Walkman, though the charming tape display screensaver can still be used on the standard models. The change to USB-C makes the new Walkmans much better as transports, as USB-C OTG cables are much easier to find and more convenient compared to Sony's proprietary WM port adapter. The ZX507 has a unique USB-C port placement on the left side of the player. This makes it more awkward to use as a transport with short OTG cables. The A100 keeps things traditional with a USB-C port on the bottom and makes for a cute little transport with DACs like the Chord Mojo. And of course, the headline feature is support for streaming apps thanks to the Android operating system, which is pretty much unskinned Android 9.0 with full Google Play Store support. With Wi-Fi, you'll get support for both online and offline listening, and we're happy to say that everything works as you'd expect as far as the OS goes. Unfortunately, with the new OS comes a dramatic decrease in battery life. Sony quotes that battery life has basically been cut in half with the new models, and in our own testing, we found that this is actually optimistic. Active playback time on the NWA105 can be as short as a few hours depending on what kind of tracks you play. Standby time on the new Walkmans is disappointing as well. If you leave Wi-Fi turned on, after about a day, the ZX507 will go to 25% battery, and the A100 will drain completely flat without you touching it. We should know because we have to charge these things daily. Of course, if you leave the players with Wi-Fi turned off, or if you use the auto power off function added in recent firmware updates, you can extend the battery life. But the new Walkmans take up to 1 minute to fully boot up from cold, and having Wi-Fi turned off sort of defeats the purpose of the new streaming app support. Downloading all your tracks and then using offline listening would be your best compromise. Now, the ZX300 and A55 used to be players we would recommend to people who wanted an elegant music device that would just play music files you downloaded and do that really well. The new Walkmans add a bunch of new features, but thanks to the decrease in battery life, the actual core functionality of the players isn't as good. So considering the higher prices, we think that most people would actually be better served by a player like the FiiO M11 or M11 Pro. But if you do love the Sony slick and compact designs, the Walkmans are still decent options, just not outstanding. This is Lachlan for Minidisc TV, and we'll see you next time.